Dear men, your mental health matters. Did you talk to anyone today about your feelings? Did you feel safe doing that? Hello, and welcome to another session with Dr. Lee, also known as Shelley Fullerton, is checking in with you today on our men's mental health. But mind you, I'm not a real doctor. I'm just here for your entertainment, but this conversation is serious. If this is your first time, ensure that you're subscribed for more of these sessions, and do ensure that your post notification bell is on all so that you wouldn't miss another one. And if you're returning, thank you for your subscription and thank you for rocking with me. We've celebrated International Men's Mental Health Day in June, and I'm finally able to sit and have a discussion with you on that, because if you've been following my reels and my shorts, you would understand that I've been doing a mini series on men's mental health. Have you asked yourself why the man in your life, it can be any man in your life, your husband, your brother, your father, your cousin, a friend, a colleague, why they would develop depression? Or is it that you tell yourself that they shouldn't develop depression? According to the National Institute of Men's Mental Health, a man can develop depression for many reasons. There are many factors that contribute to him developing depression. It can be a combination of factors. For starters, his genes can play an important role. Men who have a family history of mental health issues are more likely to develop depression than those of families that don't have mental health issues. Environmental stress can trigger depression too, and these include financially, the loss of a loved one, problem at work, a difficult relationship, major life change, or a stressful situation. Not only that, but depression can occur in men that have medical conditions such as heart disease, cancer, or diabetes. I'm not here really to get into those issues. I'm basically going to touch on how society deals with men who have depression, or how society treats men on a whole. There's this whole gender bias and what men should do and how they shouldn't act, and what women should do and what they shouldn't do. Because we haven't created that safe space for our men has caused our men to bottle up their emotions, and then it will take just one trigger for them to explode. And most of the times that we know these explosive behaviors are very detrimental either to our men or to our family. That's all because we did not create that safe space, or because we as a society have locked men or narrow men into a box. You ought to be here and you should not be anything else, and you ought to be then within this box. Then when they explode and commit acts that they should not, then we blame the parents, but when in fact it is the society that contribute to such a character. Men's mental health problems are very common, but they're not able to talk about it. There are so many stigmas attached. Societal gender roles can dictate that when men express certain emotions, they are not real men. This stigma can cause men to suppress their emotion just to present themselves as manly and more strong. Men are less likely than women to seek help from friends or medical professionals for their mental health issues, such as depression, anxiety, and obsessive compulsive disorder. That's simply OCD. The stigmas that our men face in regards to mental health issues, like real men don't ask for help, strong men don't have emotional problems, or real men shouldn't need therapy or medication, crying is for boy. What are we really teaching our men? Those are the stigmas that we as a society has grown and nurtured and perpetuated onto our young men. But how can we break that stigma and invite our men to open up and speak to us? We can break that stigma by teaching our young men to open up about their feelings and their emotions. Be that example for our young men to show that vulnerability. Choose your words carefully. Choose empowerment over shame. And speak up against that stigma. Dear men, your mental health matters. Men tend to keep so much bottled up inside. This includes all the traumas, the heartbreaking moments, and eventually there has to be a release. And too often it's in an explosive manner, sadly. Somehow the conversation around men's mental health is different from that of women. It is normal and open for women to talk about the mental health and all the issues and the problems they're having, depression, anxiety, but it is not okay for men to be bold about how they feel and to be vulnerable. Why is it that we are creating that dark space for our men? It can trigger so much emotions and behaviors that we would not appreciate. Too many times we have seen in social media, we have seen on the news where the young men going to schools and taking out the lives of so many people, even the men in our home. And it is important that we allow our men to open up. Men do suffer a lot, they go through a lot, like psychologically. Men don't often show the signs that we associate with depressions, like hopelessness and sadness. Instead, they might appear very angry or aggressive. And because of this, it makes it difficult to see when something is wrong. Basically, they are covering up that emotion because they don't want to seem weak in society's eyes. As such, they will miss out on the treatment that they need to get. Given the prevalence of mental health issues in men and the dangers of ignoring them, it is important to identify common barriers that men face when seeking help. Why don't men talk about mental health? Because society's expectation and gender roles play a role in why men are less likely to discuss or seek help about their mental health issues. We know that gender stereotypes about women, how they should behave and look a certain way, and that in itself can be damaging to men. Men are often expected to be breadwinners and be strong, dominant, and in control. While these aren't inherently bad things, it makes it harder for men to reach out. Some of you may be asking, why create that safe space for men to talk about their mental health issues? Because once left untreated, can lead to high-risk behaviors such as drugs or alcohol, gambling, and other forms of addictions. Or they may use an escapist behavior such as throwing themselves into their work just to avoid talking about all the pent-up emotions that they're having. I don't think there's anything like male depression and female depression. Depression on the whole have similar traits like sudden anger and outbursts, irritable, and a loss of control of oneself, risk-taking, and aggression. I hope that as time goes along, that space will be created where men feel safe to be more true and open up about their emotions without having that backlash. Men need to develop that sense of vulnerability and transparency about what they feel without feeling like they're less than. Shout out to all the men going through a lot. No one to turn to or no one to talk to, because this world has wrongly taught our males to mask their emotions. The mental health of our boys and our men are often overlooked, even though it takes a significant toll on their lives. Unheeded emotional problems can cripple a man's functionality or his functionability in society and even within his own family. This can lead to suicidal thoughts and attempts. I would not want to see my brothers go through all these mental health issues by themselves, all because they were taught to not cry. Men of faith do not need medication and therapy. It is a lie. And I would not want any man to suffer in silence. You need to speak. Find that one person that you can trust and open up about how you feel. It's stop bottling your emotions, because it's not gonna work for you. You need to normalize men's mental health. And if you're worried about someone in your life that has mental health issues, here are some tips that you can use to help them. Let them know that you're there to listen without judgment. Someone who is experiencing mental health issues may find it hard to reach out. So how about you trying to keep in touch? Send a text, say hi, how are you? Do you need anything? Is there something you want to talk about? I'm here to listen to you. And that in itself can make a big difference. Also, you can find out about these local services that offer counseling. You can direct the person to such services. Help them get help. Reassure them that it's okay to ask for help and that support is out there. Also, don't forget to take care of yourself, because taking care of someone can be very hard, and in the process we tend to neglect ourselves, and we need to be strong to be able to help others. Make sure that you consider your well-being as well. I hope that this video has been inspiring enough. If you enjoyed, please give this video a thumbs up. Check your subscribe button if you haven't subscribed. It's free. Make sure to watch this video right here. Thank you so much for watching. Until then, stay safe, cousins. Bye. I got everything I want, but